Hey. It is Thursday. That's one day away from our worthiness training. Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Every Friday, we got free training for everyone. Last week's was manifestation. If you didn't get your manifestation guide exercise, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you've missed any of the trainings for the last 20 years, just go to Spotify and it's on the playbook and you could watch the replays there. There's a playlist of all the trainings I've done for free. It's featured on Spotify, featured on Entrepreneur. It's on every platform. Check us out. You'll love the trainings. And if you want the guides, the exercises, or my book for free, just reach out, david@dmeltzer.com. Team David Meltzer has pinned that right there below. I also have a text community, so if you want to be updated there, 949-298-2905. Just text me. You can get all this stuff as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining our private sales group. So we'll be getting started this month. Super excited. Yes, Gemma's joined. We got filled up fast. So reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you're interested in that. Let's go ahead, answer some questions. I almost guarantee, about WWE. Hey, we're going to have Stephanie McMahon on the playbook as well. She's lined up here to be conversed with in the best way. Looking for my team to put some questions in here. We got to get this thing going. I don't know what I have to do to get my team fired up, but looking for some questions. Anyone and everyone, put them in there so I can help the whole group. I am here to help, to be of service. Looking in there. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Good to see you. Here we go. Blaine, favorite athlete of all time? Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn, probably my favorite athlete. Roberto Clemente. I got a list of them. It varies by day because I take inventory of my values every day. You got to love Michael Jordan. Got to love LeBron James, but his career is not over. There's some really good one. Hey, Mr. Stinson Speaks. Excited for tomorrow. Thank you so much. All right, the questions are finally coming in here. That's good. What are the benefits of your group coaching? The group coaching is simple. We meet once a week. You get one-on-one access to me, so you get that benefit. But the real benefit is listening to the other people get their one-on-one access and learning from the questions that you've never thought of. And then we have a private coaching group. Of course, added on are the exercises, guides, and training for free as well. And the COVID way. So it's a year together, everybody. So you'll love it. For pennies, just reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. The sales training as well has the same format, but it's only about sales. So one's about life and business. The other is about sales. The questions keep on coming. Thank you so much. Let's see here. How do you adapt to every changing situation where there's an indefinite uncertainty? Well, that's why you can't find outside of you what you can't find within. So you need to take inventory of your own values and then see how those things align. You also need to take control of what you have control of. Your mindset, your heart set, the way you feel, and what you think, say, do, believe, and the unconscious competencies of your personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. That's how we do it. How do you prevent feelings of unworthiness? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Thank you, Danielle. We're going to talk about that in training tomorrow. Everybody has some degree or variance of worthiness issues. And so we use mantras, we use value, quantified value in order to effectuate the way we feel and love ourselves. The more we love ourselves, the more valuable we are, the more valuable we are, the more we can receive, the more we can receive, the more we can give. See how this works for everyone? This is what we call an abundant universe, a world of more than enough of everything for everyone. So that's what we are working on. How do you identify strength versus letting things roll off your back? Are you less when you don't express? Not really sure, that got cut off. So you need to be you, is what my answer would be. And your frequency is your frequency. And you can't take yourself so seriously. If you think you can improve the situation by articulating constructively some positive effect to it, that's what we should do. I have my friend Jeremy here. Let's bring Jeremy You ever heard of the Wild by Nature co-founder, Wild by Nature CBD company? It's a growing industry, as everybody knows. And there he is.
Hey,
How are you?
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Well, you guys are just killing it. But the thing I like most about it is you and I share the philosophy of a portion of everything you do goes to a purpose or a cause. And of course, you do it towards health, which to me, health is the key to happiness. It's the number one key. It's my number one non-negotiable in my life is a minimum of an hour a day on my health, which is why I'm so interested in CBD, because I think it's been an ignored ingredient, let's
For
call it,
sure.
to a phenomenal amount of effects. Obviously, we can't talk about all the effects because of different regulations. But what got you into CBD?
I think I'm like you. I think we've got to replace some of the stuff on the shelf. You know, I've been in branding, I've been in product development for over 20 years, and we've just got to put better products out there on the shelf. And I think CBD is like an amazing ingredient that has so much potential. And I think it got me excited. I love plant-based foods. I love wellness. I love cooking. I love ingredients. And I think, when I started learning about CBD, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is what should be out there. This is what should be in the convenience store, rather than the sugars and the heavy sodiums and and all the kind of stuff that's shelf stable. It's like, imagine if we could, run into a store and actually pick up something convenient and good, and that does something good for you. So yeah, we
Yeah,
got excited.
I would say, imagine if our great legacy leaders in the world were CBD based, not corn based.
Yeah.
Right? When you have high fructose and corn syrup and all the grains, imagine if they had been exposed to or believed in and owned the rights to CBD 100 years ago, how healthy our world would be. Because it is
Oh,
an economic decision.
it really is. And I think, look, you don't want to blame anyone and go backwards too much, because we were all learning. But now we're learning that we can stabilize things better. We can grow things better. We can farm better. We can, we've got better supply chains. So things should evolve based on these ideas. And I think we're catching up to that. But there is this kind of legacy that of beliefs that we've got to kind of help people move through.
Absolutely. And how much of what we do is ingredient or food based or nutrition based? There's, a lot more enlightenment today on how important it is what we put into ourselves more than even exercise. Even some people say more than even mindset, because our nutrition dictates our perception. A lot of people believe. How important is nutrition in what we do?
Oh, before we talk about nutrition, I think it's rituals and routines, right? We're habitual, so we start to build these, kind of like, little rituals, and then we start to own them, and that shapes us. And I think so. There's the mental thing's huge. Like, how do I start to move into better rituals, better routines, and then what comes with that routine? Exercise, nutrition, that sort of stuff. But I think ingredients is everything, and I think also the choice. Like, there's many different ingredients you can choose from, but doing the same sort of job. But we don't know the choices we have because they're pretty much formed for us. So I think getting into ingredients is essential, and learning even in the hemp world or CBD. There's many different CBDs on the market, but which ones are the good ones? Which ones are not so good? And how are they grown? What's the extraction process? So I think we're trying to educate people on CBD is relatively new to people. It's a new concept. So how can we give everyone enough information to kind of understand, like, we know how to go into a grocery store and look at a bad apple versus a good apple. And, one says organic and one looks ripe. And, so how do we kind of take that approach to CBD,
Yeah, it's so interesting because you talk about routine and rituals, which is a basis, I believe, in how we transform, grow, accelerate, aggregate, utilize compound interest is through, rituals and those habits that we have. But it's not just on an individual level. And where I see CBD, as I have technology, believe it or not, technology itself, because I was blessed to be at the inception stage of technology when I was wheeling around a computer on a luggage cart,
Right.
to show the internet in 9600 baud modem speed, which no one probably even knows what that means, but it is slow. Moreover, though, what I learned about that individual ritual is that it also affects the collective consciousness.
Right.
That you were talking about how ingrained, high fructose is or corn syrup is, and that, we can't go to blame, shame, and justification for the evolution of nutrition and the evolution of ingredients and the evolution of being aware. But there is definitely, through the consistent, persistent behavior, these rituals that individuals adhere to, there's an elevated collective awareness as well that can propagate and, as you like to say, what, pollinate.
Yeah, totally.
How do you see the individuals in affecting that collective consciousness, and each of our effect or impact on the collective, that we never really through our senses can ascertain? How important is it to make that connection?
Oh, for sure. Well, we go into business and we think it's about profit, and it's we're coming from the wrong angle, and I think you have a set of corporate responsibility, a personal responsibilities. When you start a business, when you start a brand, you've got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and you're doing a good job of what you do. So if you kind of put up your hand and say, hey, we're a business and we're here, with that comes all this kind of community responsibility. Like, what are we sharing with the world? Like, what happens if you put a couple of zeros on the end of any of your concepts? Have you created a better world? Have you created a problem? So I think that, as we started the brand, we're like, okay, we've got to make sure we get this right, because, CBD is a growing space, and what happens if this blows up? Have we done a good job? Have we helped the world, get over some solutions and get through some ideas? And so that's our responsibility of, like, do it well. And then if you do it well, then if that has a knock-on effect, you're passing on wellness.
No, absolutely. And it's so interesting how that aggregates and compounds itself as well in that individual aspect. But you used an interesting word that I love, reasons, right? People don't think quantitatively about what are the reasons I'm going to do it. Emotionally, they do.
Yeah.
Subjectively, they do. But I think it's really important to objectively, quantifiably look at not only the reasons, but the impact that you can have. And then most importantly, in accelerated change, which we are going to experience during and after COVID, we will continue to experience accelerated change like we've never experienced before. There's been more change in the last 10 years than in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And people will have to have an adaptable intelligence beyond their emotional, beyond their regular intellectual intelligence, their IQ. They're going to need to have an adaptable intelligence that's going to allow them to utilize, their higher sense of learning, their higher sense of self to effectuate these things, or else we're going to create extraordinary separation, because those that do and those that don't adapt, there'll be a huge, enormous gap between the belief system of high fructose and CBD, or the belief of different types of exercise and no exercise, or smoking and not smoking. These might seem, everybody's smiling and laughing. This is what's going to create the separation in the world, is that we have to teach people to adapt. It takes as much energy to convince a closed mind as it does 1,000 people with an open mind. So when it comes to CBD, we need to find those people with open minds. You're a marketing person, a branding person for years internationally. How do you best address and attract people with open minds?
Well, yeah, I think when we market, and where are the insights coming from? Are we asking the right set of people that are already thinking about the change? What cities are coming about change? I mean, we're doing some research in Israel, we're doing some research in New Zealand and Australia, and we're doing stuff in LA and New York. But you're trying to work out globally, what's the collective idea of what tomorrow looks like, and who's starting to think that way, and then how can we learn from them, versus just play into what's already there. I think it's a great time right now because there's so much change going on, and everyone's kind of ready for, like, what is next. I think what we got out of the last 6 months is anxiety's doubled. which is a real, it's a massive problem. So, so while anxiety is doubling, what are we going to do about it? Who's doing the right thing? Meditation went up, wellness went up. The thought of growing wellness outside just diet and exercise has changed, and then so we're kind of asking those sort of people and looking at it, because I think America only has one perspective on some of these ideas, and it's great to kind of have people, we've got a team in Japan that we're talking, and we're saying, what's wellness look like in Japan? Like, what are you guys going through? And it's not that strong individuality that happens maybe in America, but at the core, the need state is still the same.
Absolutely. And that's what creates you as such a great international partner, a pollinator partner, pollinating all types of products with CBD. And Wow by Nature is an extraordinary idea that will only create less anxiety and better health all throughout the world in longevity and happiness, which, as you know, is my mission, to empower others to be happy. So Wow by Nature is my pollination partner in creating happiness, because I believe that's what eventually what CBD assists us in being. I really appreciate you coming on and enlightening us in this really important space. They can find you at The Wild by Nature on Instagram. Where else can people find you guys?
Yeah, on the website, Wild by Nature CBD, you can go there. We're actually building a wellness site at the moment as well, which is separate from CBD, just thinking about wellness as a whole space too. So that's coming, and we'll launch that in about a few weeks. So yeah, come to the website or come to the Instagram and check it out. We do a good job of our products. We're proud of it.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you as well. I appreciate you coming on, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Awesome. Jeremy Creighton, that's at The Wild by Nature, thewildbynaturecbd.com. Check him out. We'll pin it up there as well. Put that website there for our team. Friday, we'll be talking about worthiness and how we can be worthy of everything that we receive, how we can be worthy of everything we want, and be able to allow it to come through us with appreciation, all in the name of happiness and abundance. Let's take a few more questions. You can join me, David at dmeltzer.com, for that training. Go ahead, jump out at that, or just text me 949-298-2905 to join my text community. If you haven't received or watch them, we got a playlist on Spotify. All the trainings are there for free. You can reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com, for the exercises, guides, books that are coordinated, and training course, all for free. So don't worry about it. Just reach out, David at dmeltzer.com, or join my text community, 949-298-2905. Joseph, good to see you, the Harlem Standard. If you haven't tried the Harlem Standard, that's awesome. Joseph's one of their many great people there. How do you change our mindset to open to receive? Worthiness. Literally, that worthiness is an issue that if you are not feeling good about receiving or asking, you have worthiness issues. And that's what we're going to fix on Friday. We're going to give you techniques to create the routine, the habits, the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential of being worthy of everything. An abundant universe of more than enough. A third of the people are killing it right now. A third of the people are stable right now. And a third of the people are in their own way. Let's help everybody get out of their own way. Everyone learn to love you and be worthy of everything that you receive. What's the number one key to close in sales? Credibility. I'm going to teach you that. We will teach about credibility and how often we don't even realize we're overselling, back-end selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating people. How often we don't even know, with the best intentions, that we lose business because people pick out where we're not credible, because we're inherently trying to get something, even to help someone with the best intention, in the wrong methodology, because credibility is the number one thing in closing a sale, opening a sale, and transitioning a sale. And we will teach you that. If you want to join my sales group, it's just David at dmeltzer.com. Come and join us. We're going to have an extraordinary meet once a week, one-on-one access to me, the private group, exercises, guides, and books helping you as well. Let's keep these questions coming. Do you take breaks throughout the day? I vacation every day. There's activity I get paid for, activity I don't get paid for. That's how I break my day. There's no work. So other people may not see what breaks are. One of the breaks I take every day is I pray to God every morning for at least 10 minutes that I can Sorry, I pray to God every morning for at least 10 people that I can help. I meditate for 20 minutes. Some people would think that's a break. Some won't. Some people see, activity you get paid for is playing for the San Diego Padres, and some people would pay to play baseball for the San Diego Padres, right? Activity you get paid for, activity you don't. I actually, one of the breaks that I take, I love calling people who have, registered for our groups or training or something, and just checking in to see how I can be of service. So, I'm trying to hit a minimum of 10 people a day that I can help in that way. And my life has changed because of it. What's one book that everyone should read? Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Wayne Dyer, Power of Intention, A Course in Miracles, David Meltzer's Connected to Goodness, Game Time Decision Making, Unstoppable, and Compassionate Capitalism, all by David Meltzer. You should try those, and email me if you want one, david@dmeltzer.com. If you're really nice, I'll send you a signed copy. Just ask. You can't get unless you ask. david@dmeltzer.com. All right, cool. Here we go. How do you keep yourself motivated during these times? Well, number one, you have to understand the difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation gets you up, gets you back up, gets you started, gets you back started. And then we need to make sure that we transition that extraordinary boost of energy and positivity. We transition that into inspiration, meaning we use our motivation. Negative things can motivate us. Negative energy can motivate us. Fear, another person not being positive. All these negative things can motivate us, but they won't inspire us. So what we have to do is transition motivation into clearing the interference and corrosion that we've created between us and everything. Us and the greatest power of source light and lessons that exist. We have to use our free will to clear that of what we're connected to, not only what we're connected to, but what's connected to us. And we use appreciation, we use gratitude to find light, love, and lessons and everything. That takes a lot of free will. Forgiveness, oh my gosh, does that take a lot of free will? And forgiving ourselves, wow, that's a lot of free will. Accountability, even more free will, right? What did I do to attract this to myself? What am I supposed to learn from it? Taking complete control of our own lives, man, that takes a lot of free will. But we have to use that motivation to do gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability in the right way so that we can appreciate, add value to the inspiration, the in spirit, the connection that we have. So why? We're connected to everything and everyone. We can give it away. You receive to give. You don't give to receive. All right, let's keep these questions coming. How does someone, say a 21-year-old, get/stay in touch with you? Okay, two ways. Email me directly, Mason, david@dmeltzer.com. Join one of my groups, come to my free training, get my books, exercises, guides, david@dmeltzer.com. It's pinned below. And text me to join my text community, 949-298-2905. Everybody out there is welcome to do the same thing as Mason. So that's great. Besides the number and email you supplied. Oh, email me and I will set up a call with you. Does that sound fair? And if anybody else wants an overview call of sorts, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, explain what and how I can help, and we'll set up a quick call. Okay? Not a problem. There we go. What is the number one thing you tell yourself to feel worthy? I am worthy of everything I receive. That's the mantra. I am worthy. I am worthy of everything I receive. I am worthy of everything I receive. I'm worthy. I love myself. I'm worthy of everything I receive because what I receive comes through me with appreciation for others. So I must be worthy of it because everybody's worthy of it. And I live in a world of more than enough of everything for everyone. How do you know when it's time to expand? Can you go too big too fast? Yeah, of course. I use math to determine whether it's time to expand or not. So I separate things into 3 stages. I'm happy to send anyone the guide on this as well, scaling a business. There is a learning stage, an execution stage, and an equity stage, all mathematically driven by what the goals, timing, and risk tolerance that we have determined upon individual or the business itself. And so I use a very pragmatic methodology of math in order to determine and mitigate risk by utilizing and aligning the capabilities that I have with the timing and risk tolerance that I have in 3 different stages: the learning stage, the execution stage, and the equity stage. Feel free, david@dmeltzer.com. I can give you that guide. You should be joining my private group or get one-on-one business advice from me. Because if you're in that position, there's a lot of money. We could be a profit center for you. Let's make it together. Here we go. Who has been the most enlightening playbook interview you've ever done? Deepak Chopra. No question asked. Deepak Chopra is the most selfish. Wait, you gotta stop. My wife Julie's on here. She's rarely on here. Good morning, Julie. I love you. Jewel Awesome. The combination of Julie and Awesome. Thank you for coming on and taking the time. Deepak Chopra, though, was the most selfish of all my podcasts because I only asked questions that I wanted to know about. And but it was the most enlightening because I was asking questions that were way out there. All right, let's see here. This is one of my favorite people, and we are bringing her on, an inspiration to all. Hello.
Hi.
It's so weird seeing you. I feel like I feel like I was with you at the Super Bowl, and it feels like yesterday. And I'm like, that's a different hairstyle, though. And oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So crazy.
It's October.
It's bizarre. A year ago, you know what's so funny? 1 year ago this month, I gave my first TEDx talk. And that feels like a million years ago.
Yeah, well, accelerated change will do that to us. And those who are adapting to it are really, I think, flourishing. And yet I had the CBD guy, Jeremy, on earlier, and he made an interesting point. He goes, anxiety has doubled in the last 6 months. And I haven't thought of it in that perspective. And he was using it, of course, to promote CBD because that's one of the best, I think, effects of CBD. But there's also, I think, as an indicator when anxiety's doubled, there's so much opportunity because those who understand anxiety, those who can practice ending fear, can really take advantage of these opportunities that exist. What are some, I mean, you're like the ultimate entrepreneur. It's such a genius in your respect. What are the opportunities that you see and you're taking advantage of now?
Well, I want to answer that in a second, but you just made me think of something. I went to the dentist yesterday for the first time in a really long time, and I want to encourage everyone to go.
Smile. Let's see. All right. He did a
They're good.
job.
But here's the thing. He explained to me because of the amount of anxiety, people are grinding their teeth. Because of wearing masks, there's more saliva and it's starting to eat away at people's enamel. And there's a lot of inflammation in people's mouths because of anxiety, tension. And that's a major problem. So if you're not flossing your teeth, brushing them 3 times a day and taking a break from the mask, you're going to have longer term problems with your teeth. So go see your dentist, everybody who's out there right now. It's super important. So
I've learned 2 things today.
Oh my gosh, someone just messaged me. Your teeth look gorgeous. Well,
they are.
I really am so disciplined about taking care of them for sure. So as an entrepreneur, I guess, I launched my coaching business, which was something I had never thought about doing. That's like a new revenue stream for me. The virtual speaking thing is getting, it's picking up momentum. At first, people were sort of, not sure if they wanted to do it. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do it, but I mean, hey, it's our option right now. So I'm all in and I'm having a lot of fun with it, actually.
What do you see the difference? I do a lot of the online speaking and kind of leaned in right away and just kind of love it. But what are, for you, the differences between standing on a stage and doing the virtual? What's the biggest difference?
I mean, I miss the energy of being in a room and being able to see people. I'll come out like, all right, I want to know how many people in here have a sibling they always thought was smarter than them. Let me see the hands. And when you do that and you can see, yeah, me too. And when you do that and you see people and you're like, okay, I got you. It's so much more interactive. But now on the platforms I've been speaking on, a lot of times I just see a black screen. And it's sort of, I'm always like, guys, major buzzkill. I just see my face. Like, this is lame. I want to be able to see people and see how they're responding to things.
It's so funny because I was taught as the crowds got bigger in person to focus in on one person. But I would alternate people, obviously. And you can really, because I can connect, I channel, so I can connect, like even here, looking at you, I can connect and channel to you and feel that. But those blank screens, those black screens, it's like I have to talk to my own self and I'm almost pretending like I'm somebody different because that's all you see is yourself.
so weird. It's such a bizarre, and picture I'm a girl. So I'm like, oh my God, my face is
Oh,
shiny. I start like jumping on myself, like, ooh, I don't like my hair like this. And I'm like, Heather, get out of your head and get back to your mission. Like, why are, and I sometimes I share that. I'm like, guys, who out there is hard on themselves? Because I'm telling you, sitting here looking at my screen right now, all I see is my mug, and I am giving myself a real difficult moment.
oh my gosh, how do you think I feel when I have all these beautiful people to talk to one-on-one? I'm like, are you like, why? Oh my gosh, I have a genetic deficiency. Anyway, one thing I love about getting old is the expectation, even within, for me, this is, maybe it's screwed up, but I know women are different. My wife's on here, and she's so hard on herself, and she's 52 years old. I call her Awesome, the most beautiful woman ever still. And yet she's so hard on herself, right? Like the littlest things. Meanwhile, as a guy, it's like less pressure almost, because you're like, yeah, 52. Like nobody expects me to look like that 25-year-old PR guy that works for me. You know what I mean? Like I could work all day and all night and not have his stomach. I get it. Nobody expects me.
Here's the thing that I really think stinks is, I live in Miami, like the land of the beautiful people. I mean, similar to where you live, it's
Orange County, right?
Right. It's like, it's very superficial in many regards, which is good and bad in that everyone's working out outside, and that motivates me to work out and press on. But obviously it's a slippery slope for women, because if you care too much how you look and invest too much in how you look, you end up looking like one of those weird cats hanging out of a car, 60 miles an hour, right?
A Muppet. It looks like a Muppet.
You don't look real. And so sometimes if I post a picture when I look really good, like I get my hair and makeup done, people will be like, oh, lay off the filler, lay off the work, like act your age. But then try this one on for size. I posted a picture of like no makeup on, me and my glasses, like I call it pandemic Heather, versus like a picture before when I was all glammed up. And people will write like, oh, you look awful, you're falling apart, take care of yourself. I'm like, you just realize you can't win. There's so many haters out there right now that I'm like, peace out, I'll do me and you do you.
Yeah, you have to. I'm doing a train tomorrow on worthiness, right? You have to learn to love you. And it's so hard sometimes. And I actually have found that having a personality on social media has helped me understand people that attack me. And, rule number 6 has really helped me, meaning not taking myself so seriously. My hardest thing is it doesn't bother me as much. Of course, every little comment, when someone says, hey, you're balding and old or something else like that, there's like a slight little part of me that gets hurt. But the hardest part is not to comment. Like I so much, my initial reaction is to, like, when someone does obscenities into your, thing or says rude things, I want to say, hey, be kind. And then I know that by giving them, even if I'm saying being kind, by giving them energy, that I'm actually elevating them instead of elevating myself and the people that I want to elevate and the ideas that I want to elevate. So I have a very difficult time not commenting back, even if it doesn't hurt my feelings. What are some of the tricks that you have to not respond or react?
Well, like you, when I first launched my social media, I used to respond. I'd be like, that's not true. I'm not a jerk. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not blah, 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 whatever. And then they come right back at you. And then they want that's why they're doing it. They want to talk to you, right? Or maybe they're lonely or whatever their issue is. So I learned, wait a minute, I'm giving them what they want. So I get more hatred on my feed. And that doesn't work. So I've learned I don't respond to craziness, but I also don't delete it. Like, it happened, it's out there. I had this situation a couple weeks ago on LinkedIn where I put up a post. It was a picture of me and I put writing over it, a graphic over it. By the way, your social media graphics are awesome. I've been sending them to my people. I'm like, take this idea. I love it. But anyways, I put up this quote. I never lose. I either win or learn. And I didn't know that was a Nelson Mandela quote. Okay. I had zero idea. That's my fault that I should have researched it. I didn't know. So I put the quote up on my picture. Some woman comes on right away. How dare you steal Nelson Mandela's quote? So I Google it. I find out she's right. So I respond to her. You are right. Thank you for alerting me. So I go in and I edit the post. I put quote by Nelson Mandela. She starts writing, no, delete post, delete post. So anyways, it ends up being this hilarious thing because the post starts going viral because there's so much, engagement on the post. So I don't delete the post for the purpose of that was an innocent mistake, and I amended the text portion so people would know, right? So instead I do a new post with my face and his quote, and I attribute the quote to him, and I tell the story of what happened with the hater. That post goes viral.
Yeah.
So what I like leverage the haters I put them to work for me. I don't hide from them. I shine a light on them, and then it ends up paying off in the end because everyone can understand that was an innocent mistake. I felt really badly about it. I rectified it, and I'm going to move on.
Yeah, and illumination is the best, the best response, and that's what you do. And to be able to illuminate with content that goes viral is like the best thing ever. And like, I had one guy that started kind of as a hater, and he did the video giving me props because of the way that I responded to him. And he did this whole, and he had a pretty big following. And he's like, I attacked David Meltzer. This is what he did. He kind of made fun of it. Props to him. And then he went viral on his. It was really cool. Now, you have another a #1 book that is aligned with my training tomorrow, right? The Confidence Creator, shot to #1, of course, on Amazon. Everybody has to get it. Tomorrow I'm talking about worthiness, which is really confidence. Mm-hmm. And I have several of my own ideas of how to help people practice confidence. And I talk about practicing confidence because I don't think confidence is something we have all the time, no matter who we are. And I've been, like you, around the greatest celebrities, athletes, entertainers, media, billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs. And some of us, of those mentioned, are the most insecure, and others are just practicing confidence. What are some of the key things in the book that teach us to practice confidence in your Confidence Creator book?
Yeah, so let me give you a few. #1, fire your villains. When you have negative people around you, it's like having the coronavirus near you, right? The closer you are to it, the better chance you have of getting it and getting really sick. Think of your villains in your life that way. You need to get further than 6 feet apart. You need to fire those villains and get them out of your life so you can allow space for positive people to come in, stretch you, help you grow, and support you. That's like the #1 most critical thing. The other issue with villains is sometimes they lie right between your 2 ears. And I've been there. When I was younger, my strategy was, I'd go do something and not do it well, and then I'd beat myself up. I'd say, Heather, you blew it. You freaking knucklehead. Why did you do that? And then I started realizing this isn't really helping me out. I feel worse after I have this little negative talk. What if I try to flip it around and talk to myself the same way I would a child or someone I was trying to help? So I would be self-aware and notice when I was being negative to me, and I would rewrite that script and say, you did a great job. I'm so proud of you. Way to go, kid. And I really I run that tape so much of encouraging myself that when I go out for a run, I'm like, you're killing it. You're 46 and you're out here pounding the pavement. I love this. And I get really excited. One of the things that I've encouraged people to do during this pandemic, when you're washing your hands, as we all are 9 million times a day, use that as a moment to say, I'm going to give myself affirmations. I am smart. I am confident. I am capable. I am wonderful. I am caring. Whatever your affirmations are for that day, rock them with discipline every time you wash your hands. Competence creates confidence. So when I was giving my TED Talk, I practiced for 2 freaking months. I took the major points I wanted to own and I put them up on the walls of my condo. I wanted to visualize and see. I went to the venue ahead of time. I did the work. If you don't put the work in, you're going to feel very insecure and very nervous, right? So you need to put those hours, everyone has to put the man hours in. You just don't show up and risk it, right? You want to tap an expert, someone who's ahead of you, and ask them. Don't ask the people who haven't been where you want to go. Ask someone who's ahead of you and has already been there. It's really, really important to take the right people's advice and to say no thank you to those who haven't been where you're trying to go.
I love taking other people's perspectives of things that I believe in and understand how you articulate in the stories and the lessons and the perception that you have. And I think it's so important for people why they should read your book on confidence is that I believe, we all have the ones who are fulfilled and passionate and purposeful and profitable. We have very similar beliefs and very similar lessons. But they have different frequencies. They resonate with different people. We tell them in different ways. And, I'm sitting here and there's nothing, and I don't mean this to anyone out there to offend Heather. There's nothing I haven't heard before that she said, but I love the way that she says it. It's not what she says, it's what I hear. and that people who are able to articulate things in a certain manner at a certain frequency have a much stronger signal and wider spectrum. And you have a gift in articulating some of the greatest gems of lessons in life, one being confident, and portraying and creating confidence in others and elevating others in that direction. So keep doing what you're doing, because people need to hear the lessons from Nelson Mandela in your words, as well as his quotes, but the lessons of all the greats that you were talking about, the people that you have tapped and asked for help, is essential, because everyone has their own voice. And my favorite mantra is I am worthy. Because I think a lot of people don't feel worthy of what they have or what they can have, and we limit ourselves and get in our way and beat ourselves up. I use a trash story about, I hated taking out the trash because I was always the one of 6 kids that my mom made me take the trash out. I was the smallest guy in my fraternity. They made me take the trash out. Anytime trash had glass in it, it would cut me, spill on me. And once I changed my perspective, saying, I'm going to use this time to see what I want to do, my mantras to increase myself, I started to love taking the trash out. It was my mantra break. And now, you know, everybody loves me because I love to take the trash out. And if you've ever been in a relationship,
that's very special.
yeah, if you've ever been in a relationship, for some reason, there's an emotional attachment. When you're in an intimate relationship, if you take the trash out without being asked, it's a sign of love. I don't know why it is, but it's absolutely an unconditional sign of love. Anyone I was dating or my wife, the minute I started doing, like, oh my gosh, what a wonderful person you are. So just a little marriage tip out there for anyone that wants to do that. Last thing, best lesson you've learned in the last 6 months. Things have accelerated and changed. You're such a great guru now, and everyone's going to go buy your book, or I'm going to be mad. We'll post it up there as well on Amazon. What's the number one lesson that you've learned?
Oh my gosh, this too shall pass. No, move fast and break things, which is a lesson I learned in my early 20s, meaning when I got home from the last keynote speech that I gave, I think it was like March 7th or March 9th, right? It was right before quarantine. I had no idea what was about to happen. All of my pending speaking engagements were canceled immediately. And I said, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to where I get creative, which is working out. So I went to the Peloton. I started riding the bike, and I started saying, Heather, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And something popped in my head. Go and look at your messages and see what people ask of you that you never were able to deliver. See where people get value from you. I went on LinkedIn. I looked at all my DMs, and I was getting messages all the time. Hey, do you do coaching? Do you do mentoring? Do you do consulting? So I thought, okay, people see value in this expertise that I have. I'm just going to put a post up and see what happens. I didn't know anything about the coaching business, and I just put a post up. You asked, I answered. You've been asking for my coaching and my mentoring. I'm launching my first ever program May 1st. If you want, and DM me. I sold that program out. I had no idea what the program was, right? I'm like, I'll figure it out along the way. And I'm so glad that I did that. And I encourage everyone to do that exercise. Go look at your messages, see what it is people are asking you for, where they see value within you, what makes you unique, and then find a way to charge for that. Because as you move towards what you're meant to be doing, you'll figure it out along the way.
It's so wonderful. I always say, listen for someone telling you, hey, how do you do that? That's amazing. We let those pass by so much in our lives when we're doing something that seems inherent in our quantum being, but yet it's exceptional in everyone else's perception and it has true value. Well, you have exceptional value, not only to me personally, but to everyone that knows you. What a gift it's been to have you on here. I'm going to let you explain, where can people find Confidence Creator besides Amazon? Is there another place to get it?
Yes, I narrate it on Audible, or you can catch my podcast, Creating Confidence with Heather Monahan, which of course I've had David Meltzer on, or you can check me out, heathermonahan.com, and I'm on all social media at Heather Monahan.
Easy to find, unbelievable person. Anytime you want to come on, let me know. I love seeing you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for everything that you do, David. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Take care.
Bye.
The extraordinary Heather Monahan. Check out the Confidence Creator. Check out heathermonahan.com, at Heather Monahan. I think res ipsa loquitur applies to that wonderful woman. That which speaks for itself. That's how I'll close that one. Heather, you speak for yourself. Congratulations on everything and all your successes and helping other people. And I have no question why people ask you to mentor them, because you're amazing. All right. let's go to a few questions. Remember, Friday we'll be doing training on worthiness. Come join me 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. If you miss any trainings, it's featured on Spotify. They have a special list of all my trainings, and my playbook is featured on Entrepreneur. We had Brett Favre on this week, but those trainings are the #1 downloaded one. So come join us. The Confidence Creator by Heather Monahan. What mistakes did you make yesterday, and what did you learn from them? Which ones, man? I make so many mistakes. What I learned from them is I'm getting better at getting back to center. The faster that I do that. Yes, I went to law school, by the way, Tulane Law School, and I would go there again. That's how much I loved it. But mistakes that I made yesterday, the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, just to name a few. Playbook with Dr. Beckwith. The Reverend Dr. Beckwith is today. Check that out on Entrepreneur, on Spotify. It's featured on Spotify. I got a playlist on Spotify, in every platform, YouTube, etc. But Reverend Dr. Beckwith is one of my mentors. Check that one out. Thank you, Jake, for reminding me. Got so much going on. I can't remember Dr. Beckwith is on today. Are you kidding me? Anyway, all those needs of the ego, and the lesson that I learned is I'm getting better at getting back to center. That's where we get. Great question, Matt. I saw you on there. AJ, when pushing to be better than yesterday, I do that. It is okay to have multiple goals you are focused in on. Absolutely. One of the things you want to practice is multitasking. You can only do one task at one time. You can only focus in on one thing at one time. The people that appear to do multiple things in one time actually have a muscle that they've been practicing to move from one thing back to the other, move from one thing back to the other quickly. So it appears as if you're doing two things at the same time. So like when I'm reading here and talking to you, what I'm doing is going back so quickly that I can read, Playbook with Dr. Beckwith there today and be speaking to you at the same time, and then reading the next one from Team David Meltzer to remind me that david@dmeltzer.com is where you get my exercises, guides, free books, join free training, or get the replays, or the pitch competition. Don't forget, I got 2-minute drill. We're going to have over $50,000 worth of prizes, 12 episodes on Bloomberg. It's at the airports, the hotel rooms, my platform, Spotify is featuring it. It's going to be huge. Please reach out if you want to apply. Get exposed and aware. Come on to the 2-minute drill. And if you haven't caught some of the old elevator pitches, 2-minute drills, just pitching, no funding, just prizes, cash and prizes. Come win. Join me, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, cool. Here we go. Why do you care so much about people being happy? It's all I care about. All I care about. Because if I can create a collective consciousness of happiness, happy people don't attack other people. Happy people get back to center quickly. Happy people create abundance for others and for themselves. Happy people don't get sick. Happiness protects us. It strengthens us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Happiness pursues our potential. All of these things collectively, that's my dream of abundance. If I can create happiness, I can create a world of more than enough. Not the world of not enough where people are victims and things happen to you. Not the world of just enough where you buy things to be happy, you buy more things to be happy, you buy different things to be happy, you buy things you don't need, you buy things to impress people you don't even like. But the world of more than enough where you confidently receive to give to other people, to expand, to accelerate and grow, to utilize compound interest of happiness to strengthen us all. It'll even protect you against other viruses. It strengthens your immune system. Immune system. All right, one last question. Worthiness training on Friday. All of my replays featured on Spotify. Join my playlist. Get all of the trainings all of the time. Email me. Get the exercises, guides, books for free. David@dmeltzer.com. Join my text community and meet people like Heather Monahan. 949-298-2905. All of these things just for you. And now we're going to take the last question and thank you so much. The last question is, thank you, Courtney. How do you define worth? Your worth is defined by how many people you help, by how many good deeds you do, for how much value you provide. I cannot see anything outside of me that is not inside of me. Therefore, if I elevate others to elevate themselves, if I empower others to empower others to be happy, if I create value and be of service and do good deeds, that is my worth. That is where the sense and definition of me exists in oneness with all. That a tree has no branches, one branch should not go fight another branch. We are one in our ability to feed each other, to be connected to the greatest source of feeding, of light, love, and lessons, and allow it to come through us with appreciation, gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and our value to give it away to others. I define myself by how happy I make others by being of service and value. Very simply. What a great place to end. Everybody, please join me tomorrow. Live is the best way. If you can, please join me for free. David@dmeltzer.com for free training on worthiness. If you miss it or you want to go to the playlist on Spotify, it's on every platform, but it's easy to find and featured on Spotify, featured on Entrepreneur, available everywhere. But join me, get the replay, get the guides, exercises, get my books. Let's learn something together on how to empower others to be happy. But most importantly, beyond that, everyone, I will see you tomorrow. Be kind to your future self. Define yourself by doing good deeds. See you tomorrow.